Many students lose marks in writing task 2 because they make simple mistakes and they don't even know it. But don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to improve your writing task 2 essay step by step. We're going to look at 7 different things you can do, so let's get started. Step number 1, understand the question. This is one of the most important things you can do to improve your writing. If you don't understand the question and what it's asking you, and you write something that goes off topic, well, this is going to make you lose marks. There are 6 main question types in writing task 2, and each one needs to be answered in a slightly different way. So let's have a look at an example, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's have a look at this writing task 2 question. Some people believe that schools should give students homework, while others think it is unnecessary. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So the first thing that you might notice is that this question has 2 parts. The part in the blue text and then the part in the red text. Well, the part at the top is the topic. It's the topic of the question. And then the part at the bottom, they are the instructions. Okay, that's telling you what you need to do for this question. Now, the next thing you might notice is that it says discuss both views. Both views. But what does that mean? What are these 2 views? Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. And the second thing it says is give your opinion. So that means you need to say what you think about this topic. So let's go back to both views. The first view is that schools should give students homework. That is the first view or the first opinion. And then the second view is that it is unnecessary. So schools should not give students homework. They are the 2 views. That means to completely answer the question, you need to talk about both of these views and you need to give your opinion. So remember, always read the task very carefully to make sure you understand what to do and what not to do. Step 2, understand the task 2 scoring criteria. The next thing you need to understand is how the examiner decides your band score. There are 4 things that he looks at, and if you don't know what to do to get a 7 in each of those criteria, well, how are you going to get there? Well, it's probably going to be very difficult, and you're going to have to guess what you need to do to actually get a band 7. So now let me quickly show you what those 4 criteria are. The first one is task response. This is all about, did the student answer the question? The second one is coherence and cohesion. This is about how easy the answer is to read and to follow. The next one is lexical resource. This is all about vocabulary. And finally, the last one is grammatical range and accuracy. So this is how correct your grammar is and the amount of different grammar structures that you use. So each of these criterion is worth 25% of your overall writing task 2 band. And for each criterion, you get a band score between 0 and 9. There are no 0.5s. So for example, you might get a 6 for task response. You cannot get a 6.5 or a 5.5. Now, if you want to know exactly how to get a band 7 or higher in each of these 4 criteria, make sure you check out our IELTS preparation course. The link is in the description below. Inside the course, we teach you everything you need to know to get a band 7 in each of the 4 skills. Now, let's quickly talk about how task 2 bands are calculated. Let's have a look at Sean. He got 7, 7, 7, 7 for all of the 4 criteria. So his average is 7. That means his writing task 2 band will be a 7. Now, Peter, on the other hand, he got 6, 7, 7, 7. So his average is 6.75. That means his writing task 2 band will be a 6.5. And that's something that a lot of students don't know. They think that if you get 1 6 and 3 7s, you'll still get a 7 for writing task 2. But no, that's not correct. You need to get 4 sevens. Now, Anne, she got 6, 6, 6, 7. Well, her average is 6.25. So her average will be rounded down to a 6.0 for her writing task 2 band. So if you're trying to get a 7 in writing task 2, remember you need to get a 7 in all 4 of the criteria. So think about the band that you need to get for writing task 2 and then find out what you need to do for each of the scoring criteria. When you know what to do, then you can actually do those things. Step number 3 is fix basic grammar mistakes. This is one of those things that you might not know you're doing, which can actually reduce your band score. If you have too many grammar mistakes, your grammar score will probably stay at around a band 6. For a band 7 in grammar, it says in the band descriptors that you need to produce frequent error-free sentences. So now let me show you some common grammar mistakes that students make, because if you know what you're doing wrong, you can fix that thing and you can improve your grammar score. So just quickly pause the video and have a read of this little paragraph here and think about where are the mistakes. Well, the first one is in the first line. It says help. Well, this is a problem with subject-verb agreement because homework is one thing, so we should actually say helps. Homework helps students reinforce what they learn. Now, the second mistake is a little bit lower down. It's in the second line. It says, it is especially useful for difficult subject. Well, this is a problem with singular and plural nouns. Because the writer is talking about maths and science, well, these are two subjects. So that means the writer needs to have an S. So it should be difficult subjects with an S, like math and science. Now, there's one more error. See if you can find it. Well, it's at the bottom here. The student wrote, students who complete assignments have better chance. Well, there's a missing article. We need to have the word a before better and after have. So the sentence should be, who complete assignments have a better chance of performing well in exams. So remember, try not to make these little grammar mistakes because it may stop you from getting to that band 7 for grammar. Moving on to step 4, which is improve your vocabulary. If you just use very basic beginner vocabulary that most people know, it's very unlikely you're going to get a high score for vocabulary. And it's probably going to keep your vocabulary band at around a band 6. So to improve your writing task 2 band score, you need to use higher level vocabulary. If you want a band 7 for vocabulary, you need to use some less common vocabulary. So let's have a look at an example so I can show you what I mean. Have a look at this little short paragraph and have a look at the words in red and just have a think. How could you improve those words? How could you use higher level vocabulary there? Well, let's start with the first one, good. Instead of saying good, we could simply say beneficial. Many people think homework is beneficial for students. Now, what about the second one, help? What's a better way to say help? Well, we could say reinforce. So we could say homework is beneficial for students because it reinforces what they study in class. So this is a very specific word and we're using the best word in this situation. Let's move on to the word make. Well, instead of saying make, we could say encourage. It also encourages students to be more responsible. Now, moving on to the second last one, which is bad. Well, instead of saying bad, we could say harmful. Too much homework can be harmful. Instead of just using very basic words, we're using the best word in that specific situation. Because the word bad, it's very general. It could be talking about a lot of different things, but harmful is more specific. And moving on to the last one, tired. Well, instead of saying tired, you could simply say overwhelmed. So overwhelmed means you have too much work to do and you don't really know how to handle it. Now, something to remember, only use synonyms if you understand the meaning. This is a huge mistake that students make in writing and even in speaking. They just try to use synonyms without actually understanding the meaning. And this can actually lower your band score if you keep using a lot of words incorrectly. So just be careful of that. So remember, wherever possible, always try to use more professional and higher level vocabulary, but only when it's natural. You know, every second word does not need to be a high level word. You should just try to use some high level vocabulary when it's natural. And that's the key thing, when it's natural. Step 5, support your main ideas. In writing task 2, you need to show the examiner that you can explain yourself and develop your ideas. If you don't do that and you just give your main ideas with no information or no support, well, you're probably going to get a lower band score. So now let me show you the difference between a high scoring answer and a low scoring answer. So let's start with the paragraph on the left. Just have a quick read. You can probably see that there are two main ideas. The first main idea is it helps students manage their time better. That's fine, that's great. And the second one is it prepares them for exams. That's fine as well. There's a second main idea, but the problem is there's no support. There's no extra information about these ideas. Now have a look at the paragraph on the right. On the right, we still have those same ideas. We've got time management skills and we've got reinforcing what students learn so they're being prepared for exams. But have a look at the text in the green here. We are giving more information. We are giving some support. We are extending, we are expanding our ideas. And again, have a look at this second bit of green text. We are giving support, we are giving more information. So remember, when you're writing your main ideas, always give support. Give a reason, give an example, talk about an effect. Just give more information. Step 6, get feedback. If you're having problems improving your writing score and you don't know what you're doing wrong, well, you might need some feedback. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, well, how can you improve it? It's probably going to be very difficult. So let me show you an example of some writing that looks okay, but there are some big problems. So quickly pause the video and have a look at this paragraph and think about what is done well. And is there anything that can be improved? Are there any problems? Well, it looks okay. There's some nice vocabulary and some nice grammar, but there's a really big problem. Can you see it? If you can't, that means you might need some feedback on your own work. Now, if you do want feedback on your writing from a former IELTS examiner, not AI, but a real examiner who knows what he's talking about, please contact us with the link below and we will be happy to help you. Step 7, understand time management. This is a mistake I often see with students. They have some great writing, but they don't finish in time because they don't know how to manage their time. And unfortunately, if you don't finish in time, you're not going to get the best band score possible. So let me quickly show you the basics of time management in writing task 2, so you can always finish in time. So the first thing that you should do is understand the question. You need to know what to do and what not to do. This should take you around 30 seconds. Secondly, you need to decide your opinion and or your ideas. This should take you around 90 seconds because you need to think about if you agree or disagree, if it's an opinion question, and you need to think about what you're going to write in the body paragraphs. After that, you need to write your Band 7+ answer, and this should take you around 36 minutes. And then finally, if you have time at the end, you should check your work, and you can do this in about 2 minutes. Because remember, in total, you have 40 minutes for writing task 2 because you have 20 minutes for writing task 1. And yes, writing task 2 is worth more than writing task 1, but you still need to finish writing task 1 to get the best score possible. Now, these are just approximate times. Do what works best for you. Final tip. So try using all of these steps and you're going to be able to improve your writing task 2 score. If you want a full step-by-step strategy for how to write band 7 plus answers to every single question type in writing task 2, make sure you check out our IELTS preparation course, which is in the description below. And if you want to improve your writing task 2 vocabulary, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, keep studying hard, and I'll see you next time.